Good morning, traders. It is Wednesday, the 5th of April, 2017. It's 8:02 here in Chicago in the morning, 9:02 Eastern. Thanks as always for joining me on another Trader Bite. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. The overall market stance, equities are seeing a boost higher. The S&P is up about 5 points this morning. Crude is leading the way, up 51.69 on the May contract. Quite a hop up from yesterday. It's got a gap going. And then the weakest today is gold, trading at $1,251.40, followed by the yen. The DAX is a laggard today, down 40 points. The overall market stance is again to the buy side. The market's allocating to risk this morning, it appears. As far as hang on one second. As far as what there is to that has an impact overnight, not seeing too much. The MBA, U.S. MBA mortgage applications were negative 1.6, doubling the down forecast of negative zero point 0.8. ADP this morning came in at 263,000, very strong versus 185,000 expected. Remember, the ADP measures private payrolls. It is a payroll processing company that puts out its number on the Wednesday before non-farm payrolls, which is Friday. Unemployment and non-farm payrolls are this Friday, the second most important release of the month. Um, but other than that, the markets in Europe and Asia are strong. Overall, the market's allocating to risk so far this morning. We'll look at the overnight session to see how that played out. And no, there is no, there is nothing else to talk about. Jeff Richmond Fed President Jeffrey Lacker resigns over allegations of leaking secrets about the markets. That's being investigated. That's an interesting new dilemma. There's a lot of drama going on that's coming across the news. So it's just an interesting time to be. As far as what we're expecting today, at 9:45 Eastern, it's 15 minutes after the cash open. We got U.S. Services PMI final for March, 53.1 expected. At 10, we get ISM non-manufacturing. That is 10 U.S. Eastern U.S. time, 10 New York time. The U.S. ISM non-manufacturing is expected for March at 57.0. Then we get the energy numbers looking at 10:30 for crude oil inventories, expecting a draw of 1.5 million. Distillates expecting a draw of 1 million. And gasoline inventories expecting to see a draw of 1.5 million. As far as speakers, the only speaker I had on deck was the BOE speaker at 8:30, which has already passed. And then we get the FOMC minutes at 2 o'clock. So we have something at 9:45, at 10, 10:30, and 2 p.m. all Eastern time. That's what we're looking for today. As far as what we expected yesterday versus what we got, interesting enough, yesterday we got both hypotheses working out. We got an initial test. So yesterday, the expectation was for an open auction on the open that breaks higher, fails ahead of the point of control, puts in a failed attempt at the high, and pushes down into what I expected to be the um, the high volume node initially, and if it has any energy, it'll continue. It's likely to continue lower down into the 2337 area. That happened in the morning, and then the market turned around to give us hypo 2, which is a push down to 2345 in the morning, touch the overnight low, and then look for a large rotation up and continuation after that, the high being 2360. So again, the primary hypothesis was the big trade idea of the day was sell against the point of prior day point of control, look for rotation down to 2346 for the MC point of control, that black line, and then a potential continuation lower. Hypo 2 was a choppy open, look for a base, and then look for a big rotation up, and then a target is 2360. Here's what actually happened. We got Hypo 1 almost verbatim. A choppy open. Here's an open auction. We get a test. We stop ahead of the point of control. We rotate down, make an attempt again off of the open. We test the open to the tick down here, make an attempt off the open. Failed attempt at the high, and then we get an impulse move down to 4650. Again, this is where the MC point of control is in this area. Let's see if that's outlined here in my flex levels. Why aren't my flex levels working? Not sure. Um, anyway, so and then it makes a bounce through the mid, falls through the mid again. So now we're moving into balance. So generally I lose in these areas, and then we start to get a push. And this starts basically hypo 2 over here, starts a push, and then we end up 6 ticks short of the 2360 target. By the close, we hit 2358. We're currently trading 2362. We're above that 2360 dividing line, and the overnight session shows pretty good support beneath us. Let's look at the overnight. Where are you, overnight? Here we go. Looking at the overnight, we had a continuation through to 1 tick below the 2360 target that we had for yesterday, and then the market just basically drifted down on what is a boxy profile, just trading all the way through. And then we based pretty much through most of the Asian session. And then we get this attempt at the open again, and then we get this burst higher, which we're experiencing currently. We have a very strong base, in my opinion, right down here at 2357 for this morning. I expect any test towards 2357 to see a bounce, which I intend to take advantage of when that happens. So that's what we saw in the overnight session. I'm going to keep this short and sweet here this morning. So let's extend this profile forward to see what we've done since that big sell-off on Tuesday, the 21st. Here we're shifting the profile forward, and we see that we're just building the middle. The point of control has shifted up to about 2355 at the moment, and the overall profile. So if I bring this profile forward, the overall profile shape here is saying that it's trading all the way through these levels, that there's really not a cutoff. You can see that it's starting to form somewhat of a box profile, and a profile that has that much volume on a wide range as opposed to a normal histogram. A normal Gaussian histogram is telling us that the market's trading through all these prices with high volume. It's seeking consensus and it's not able to find any. It's not agreeing on price. So this is likely to continue to be choppy. This morning, it's likely to push high. Remember, we left this really weak high up here. This is a big target for today. 2366.75, 2367 is expected to be taken out today. So I'm looking for any chance to catch along into that 67 area. Okay, so the primary hypothesis today, open auction out of range. Look for an attempt down. I'm looking for support at 2360, a base, and then I'm looking for this to start moving up towards 67. I'm expecting it to burst through 67, pull back, make another attempt, and then fall and close into the 2365 area. That is the first and key trade of the day. That's the one that I'm looking for. How do I jump in on this? I jump in on this based on order flow and based on an impulse. I'm looking for which side can create an impulse move and then look to trade the continuation with the trend, with the market, with the hypotheses. I don't expect it to dip down into 23.56, 57. I expect it to hold higher right up here. Actually, 23.56 is expected to be support from the overnight and from the prior sessions. So that's as far as I expect it to go. If it pushes any deeper, then it gives us something else. Then we have to look at something else. Um, and then we're starting to look at hypo 2, which then looks at the reverse. Hypo 2 is an open auction test higher, make a valiant attempt at pushing higher, make a lower high, so we have a failed attempt at the high, then look to bounce at 57 on the first try, so 57 down here is discussed. Then the target is likely to be 23.55. 23.55 and 23.54 quarter, the key targets below for hypo 2, okay? So that's very, very common auction stuff. This really isn't magic, or there is no science to it. The market is constantly seeking buyers and sellers, and we know that. And so the idea is to let it do what it wants to do, right? So we're not imposing our hypothesis on it. We're just creating a plan for which side might fail, jump in. So I'm not being wishy-washy here. I'm simply being prepared for whatever the market provides because I'm not big enough as a trader to control the trade. And so I am just keeping my mind malleable and then also having a plan for whatever it does. So if I see that it pushed higher, pulled back and could not push the high, and I see offers coming into the book, so on my book map, I have white lines and I see that it's trying to continue to buy, but it keeps getting confronted with more and more liquidity on the offer. That's an opportunity to at least catch a 2-point drop as those late buyers, weak hands buying the pullback fail to continue, and those buyers become sellers. And I'm looking for the 2-point rotation, and then hopefully a continuation on a burst down, and that would be hypo 2. The opposite for hypo 1. So the idea is to just sit, relax, let the market decide what it wants to do. Remember, we have numbers at 9:45, at 10 o'clock, at 10:30, and at 2 o'clock today. Those are likely to play in, so pay attention to that. But overall, these are the key plans for the day. Again, hopefully you're picking something up on every single video that you watch. I hope it's worthwhile for you. Don't forget, on April 19th, I'm doing a public AMA that's sponsored by Futures.io. This is your chance to be able to ask whatever questions you want. So make sure you attend. It's on my, it'll show up on my Twitter feed next week. And if you want it sooner, just go to the website and look in the blog post. There's a blog post for it. The website, for those who are curious, futurestrader71.com. Good luck, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Good trading.